Hey, this is Rohan from 10 Hill Studio, and today we have two very special guests with us. We have Amit from SmartKicksOfficial, and we have Pablo Dutta, the artist.
So I think I have a question right at the beginning, and I want to ask Pablo. Is
Yeah.
that your real name? Because the artists keep their artist name.
So my real name, my Aadhaar card name is Upamanyu Datta.
Okay.
But I was named Pablo the day I was born. Like my dad named me Pablo the day I was born. Not after Escobar, after Picasso.
Oh,
So-
that's quite creative.
But it's in Bengali culture, there's a dark name.
Dark Naam,
Dark
yeah,
Naam, which is
Naam.
very
That's
popular.
Pablo. Like my grandmom calls me Pablo.
But I love the Upmanyu thing. I was
Yeah.
just my opinion.
No, I mean like it wasn't really difficult for me to choose an artist name. I mean it's like Pablo. Everybody calls me
Yeah,
Pablo.
yeah,
like
for
literally
sure.
everybody calls me Pablo. No one's ever called me Upamanyu.
So now I think we are today talking about the evolution of sneakers in India. It's quite an interesting topic and so much to talk about it. But we are going to limit it to those contexts that are going to make meaning to the audience.
For sure.
And something that fascinates me about what we are going to interact today is that we have one Rohan Raj Agarwal, who is an entrepreneur and he himself owns the 10 Hill Studio. So he understands the market that consumes sneaker and he understands the market that sources sneaker. What I like about Pablo, the artist, and because he's coming from the hip hop scene, is that hip hop and sneakers have been closely associated for a very long time.
As well as, I would say, streetwear as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
so the kind of t-shirt, dude, like look at his t-shirt. I love that washed multicolored
Yeah.
t-shirt that he's wearing.
It's actually sick, for real.
Yeah.
And we of course have Amit here from SmartKicksOfficial, who knows literally everything about sneakers, the technical details, the
Facts.
resale market, facts, figures, and he's gonna be the guiding light, kind of.
I think-
taking this conversation forward, right?
No, I think he's just very appreciative about me, and I've met some of the best people in Kolkata, so they really appreciate. I think I'm also learning. I'm also a student of this subject. But the fascinating thing is how the sneaker culture started in India.
Right.
And we as kids, we didn't have access to like most of the brands, most of the hype brands back then. Like Jordans for us was like, okay, if we have a friend in US or Europe, they can source it for us.
yeah.
But we didn't have the access. And thankfully the globalization happened and the brands started coming in. And even then, like the Jordans, the hype pairs didn't come in immediately.
No.
Like, I remember 2003 was the time when Reebok started taking off in India. And from 2003 to 2009, Reebok had a very prime season all through. And it was like one side it was leading the Indian market.
Right.
And if you remember, Allen Iverson was at the helms of the affair when it
Yeah,
came to
yeah.
Reebok. Reebok
Right,
gave him
for
a
sure.
lifetime sponsorship. Like that was a crazy deal, even bigger than Michael Jordan's. And obviously, because Michael Jordan's umbrella is so big in
Yeah.
terms of collaborations, and he's a smart businessman. A lot of people have told everyone that Michael Jordan is a bigger businessman than a player himself.
Yeah.
So I think that evolution that India
For sure.
experienced about this whole information. What
Yeah.
do you have to say about your childhood about sneakers?
So for me, growing up, we used to go to the Nike stores and the Adidas stores in
Yeah.
Calcutta. I think
Yeah.
Pablo also had a similar experience,
Absolutely.
where we would try and find like pairs, but most of the pairs weren't hype or anything. It was just like you had a lifestyle section
Yeah,
in
yeah.
the store, and you would kind of choose things from the lifestyle section, but your parents would, bro, why are you buying sneakers for lifestyle?
That's
Like,
correct,
you either
that's
buy
right.
it for running,
Yes.
use it for a functional purpose. That idea of wearing sneakers as lifestyle wasn't
Correct.
very prevalent
Absolutely.
when we were growing up.
Absolutely.
But now it's such a mainstay, such a important part of people's lifestyle
Right.
that you have people our age, you have people like my dad as well. Like my dad is going around in Yeezys and flexing his
Yeah.
Yeezys to his friends,
He was
saying that,
telling me about
"Haan
his-
bhai, mera Yeezys
His
dekho."
father got a
Yeah.
easy 350
That's
bone.
pretty cool.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
sick, man. And then I also so I think from 2008 or 2009 to almost 2018, it was all the performance shoe market in India. There was a tussle between
performance,
Reebok and then
100%.
Adidas took over. Cricket is a big game in India,
Yeah,
so Adidas got the
absolutely.
BCCI sponsorship late in 2009 and stuff. And then I think Puma started taking over. And Puma
100%.
took over to such a level that today Puma is the biggest brand in India as per the sales volume. They're doing incredibly good, even better than Nike and Adidas, by the way. A lot of people might not be aware. But then what happened during the COVID? My God. I mean, the number of resellers have gone up easily 5 to 8 times. And just during the COVID, when most of the people were struggling, to get things together,
Right.
the reselling market, the sneaker reselling market,
Yeah.
it just exploded.
Absolutely.
I think you would be able to put some light on it in a better manner, because I think hip hop also exploded during that time majorly in India because of this
100%.
movie, the
Absolutely.
Gully Boy movie. Do you have
Yeah.
some experience to share out of it?
Absolutely. Like, I think that, Bollywood has always been like a very big, factor influencing Indian culture. Like,
Right.
for example, if you go back to 2008, and this movie called Rock On came out,
Yes.
and that time, Farhan Akhtar was like the poster boy for Indian rock music.
Yeah, yeah.
And the following years there were so many bands that were doing so well, and
Yeah.
rock sort of became a part of Indian culture.
Correct.
Before that, people could not imagine rock covers of Bollywood
Yes.
songs,
I
or
would
like
even say bands for that.
bands,
yeah.
absolutely. Like the whole band culture, came into the picture, and similarly, 2018, Veer Singh was sort of the poster boy
Poster
for
boy.
Indian
The
hip hop
rock star
music.
guy.
Absolutely,
guy.
like
Yeah.
because he had a mass following, and kids started looking up to Ranveer Singh as an icon for hip hop music in India.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's a scene in Gully Boy where MC Sher kind of calls him
Yeah.
home, and there's like a rack full of Jordans.
Sneakers, yeah.
Yeah, and that's in the hood, right?
That's in the hood.
And,
That's
and
in
he
the hood.
doesn't come from money.
He doesn't come from
Exactly.
money, right? So that's such a big factor that's influenced kids.
Yeah,
Yeah.
End of the day, hip hop as a genre, as a culture, has always been about youth and revolution that way.
Correct.
If you look at the Western world also, like the African Americans sort of needed a voice. They needed
Correct.
something that serve as a voice for
story,
their
right?
for their story, right? They
Right.
couldn't like go and tell their story to the press, to the media, but
Right.
they could sort of tell their story through music, and music is universal, right?
Correct,
So
yeah. Correct.
once people started enjoying the music, like hip hop music, they started understanding their story and where they came
Yeah.
from.
Correct.
So similarly, I think in India,
For me, like what Gully Boy did was showcase like a very rags to riches kind of
Absolutely.
thing, which is
Absolutely.
like how you have the American dream. It almost created the Indian dream, but
Yeah.
specializing in hip hop.
in hip hop,
And I think a lot of people got inspired to start
Absolutely.
careers and actually make money off of things that they really enjoyed, which
Right.
was hip hop
Hip-hop,
music.
absolutely,
Because before
absolutely.
that, there wasn't really like
a platform.
a platform, or the hip hop Indian artists weren't big enough to actually make serious money through it.
Absolutely, yeah.
You can see like the difference from say when Divine, the
Yeah.
4 Gully Boy versus Divine now, who's
After.
one of
Absolutely.
Exactly.
he's played the IPL
20 finals, yeah,
finals, right, which was the biggest stage.
Absolutely.
And-
Absolutely.
I also, मतलब मुझे ये चीज़ जो है सबसे ज़्यादा अम्यूज़ करती है कि now you are a sneaker reselling store,
Right.
and how a movie release and then a rock star like Ranveer Singh, his personality, they have a positive impact on the whole market. The resellers are making money because there are buyers. Buyers are there because the buyers are watching someone on the screen wearing these funky shoes, the hyped sneakers, and people are ambitious about their outfits.
Absolutely.
People want to have t-shirts, like the oversized t-shirts, and the streetwear culture that is becoming outrageous now. And एक time था जब कोई streetwear culture, मतलब oversized t-shirt पहन के अगर कोई निकला तो थोड़ा सा उसको नीचे देखा जाता था. But now you see, oh bro, he's got some style, man.
Yeah.
He understands style. And then sneakers become so inevitable part of this whole outfit setup that obviously the whole ecosystem is growing. The resellers are growing, the sourcing people are growing,
Right.
the shipping people are growing, the buyer is buying, and I feel so happy about it, because
Yeah.
eventually we have been in the industry for so long trying to figure out how this will go up. But now I
Yeah.
see, like, I don't have the exact figures, but I have this Indian brand. The name is Neemans. I was just researching about them. In the last 1 year, they have shown 15x growth. That 15 times growth is not a small
That's a
number.
lot.
That's
bro.
massive.
And a lot of people still don't know about Neemans. I feel so pity about it, but that
Yeah.
brand is doing so good. Plus, how many pairs they've sold in the last 3 years? Can you imagine that? 7.5 lakh pairs.
Oh,
That's crazy.
And Indian pairs selling, and most of the market is 25 to 40 age group, the same age group that you are catering to, the same age group that my audience is consuming content.
Right.
Like, भाई मजा आता है सुन के कि भाई अपने
Yeah.
देश का कोई ब्रांड
Hmm.
ऐसा काम कर रहा है.
Honestly, I didn't know that there's even a market for like an Indian brand to even be in this lifestyle sneaker space, just because of how big Jordan brand
Yeah,
is
yeah,
and
yeah,
how
yeah.
big these other lifestyle brands is. So it's honestly so refreshing to hear Indian brands
Yeah.
in this space, especially.
And it's like at the end of the day, like anybody before buying a pair of sneakers, they'll always look at what makes them feel confident
Yeah.
and what makes them
Right.
comfortable,
Yeah,
and that's such
for
a big
sure.
driving factor before anybody makes a purchase. So
Yeah.
I think there's one brand that I need to mention. A couple of brands and a very close encounter with how Indian counterparts or the other countries are working around it. So what has happened during the COVID is the whole world has lost confidence in China. ये चाइना वाले कुछ भी खा पी के वायरस फैला देते हैं, मार्केट बंद हो जाता है भाई उनका, और जो प्रोडक्शन हाउसेस बैठे हैं who call them the first world like US, Europe, they all manufacture in China, Vietnam,
Yeah.
और now they are looking at India. Now they are looking at कि भाई हाँ भारत में आप प्रोडक्शन कर सकते हो, आप बना सकते हो. There's a very recent article I came across. Crocs, very prominent brand, has opened its manufacturing unit in India. Now that
crazy.
calls for a great celebration because it might seem a very small move right now, but it's a start of a big thing. And that's why I
Absolutely.
feel 2030 is going to be the golden period. Till 2030 we're going to have a golden period for the
100%.
footwear industry, and obviously sneaker is going to benefit because that's the
Right.
style
Absolutely.
driving
Absolutely.
product.
Yeah, like obviously the Crocs thing is start of a trend for
Correct.
people moving their manufacturing
Yes.
units to India. Crocs is definitely not going to be the last
Yes,
of these
yes,
prominent
of course,
brands.
Yeah,
of
yeah,
course.
yeah, yeah.
And thankfully, I don't want to make it political because I don't support a particular party here. But I think the current government is also taking efforts to bring in the bigger brands. It's become more easy for the brands to step in, acquire space, and that's very important as a country for us.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Right.
think even we should mention about this Indian brand. It's known as Eliver, and I came across them in early 2021, I guess. And I read about them. And Vani Kola, who is a prominent investor, she's an investor in Eliver brand. And then Ranvijay Singha, who is the biggest sneakerhead of the country, one of the biggest sneakerheads, he is an investor in that brand. So our people are believing in our products. Things are happening that, okay, we won't be able to compete with Jordans right now because it's a global phenomenon. It has got a history of last 50 years. But we can see someone standing, for the people and okay, let's make sneakers. Let's have the gut to launch a pair and see how the country is reacting to it.
It ties in so well with, say, for example, in 2017, 2018, you may have said that there are 3 streetwear brands.
Yes.
Homegrown streetwear
Yes.
brands. Now there's about 30,000
Exactly.
homegrown streetwear brands.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
It's just exploding.
Yeah, it's just exploding. So, like you said, I think this is the start of something rather than, like something that's just going to fade away.
Dude, I want to ask you this, Pablo. Who do you look up to your style icon when it comes to sneakers? Like, since you are an artist, you must be having so many people in the industry. Is
No,
there someone?
it's not really like that, It's like, honestly, like for me, it's about wearing something that makes me feel confident. It's not
Right.
about, what somebody else wear and I have to be like that person. I don't have aspirations like that,
Nice.
If something makes me feel good about myself, I'll buy it.
Damn, man, that's
You know,
the
that
most
makes-
important thing
Yeah.
that people should understand.
It's about feeling good about yourself.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter like what brand it is or where it's coming from. I think that's
Yeah.
that's how it should be for any customer.
Yeah, for sure. I think the way even I view fashion is very like self-expression.
Yeah, it's absolutely personal.
So yeah.
Do you, in that way, do I perceive that you as a personality don't care about the brand or the logo? It's just about how
I
you
don't.
feel about it.
I
Wow,
don't
man.
like me as a person, like I have zero FOMO. Like I haven't
Okay.
seen a single episode of Game of Thrones, so
That's a big revelation.
so
Pablo
I mean-
Dutta doesn't watch Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I mean, I stopped after the Red Wedding. After that, I was like, I'm out, bro.
Oh.
Like, all my favorite characters died, and I was
I'm
like,
feeling
that's
left
it.
out now.
That's
I don't
it,
have
I'm
anything to
out.
talk on that topic. However, it brings me my attention to one of the most important controversial topics right now. A lot of people are afraid of talking about it, but I think we are gutsy enough to discuss about that. That's the
100%.
real and fake sneakers.
yeah.
Right.
It's a big tussle, but if I have to say that, I think most of us have at some point of time in life thought of buying a fake pair. I even bought a fake pair when I was very young, when I didn't have any money. So I never looked down upon anyone. What are your thoughts, guys? Like fake pairs, real pairs, what is this shit?
Like what I feel is that it's a matter of integrity. Like if you feel good wearing a fake pair, go for it, man. No one's gonna ask you, and no one can tell. It's about you. When you wear a fake pair, you can tell it's not a
Yeah.
real one. Like it
You
doesn't
know.
feel, you know.
it.
You know.
You know.
You know it.
Yeah.
You know. So it's a
Right.
matter of integrity. You feel
Right.
good, you feel confident wearing a fake pair, go for it, man. No one's gonna.
Rohan, it happens with you, like someone walks in the store with a fake pair, wearing a fake pair. How is your reaction?
So, honestly, this is my personal belief about the whole fake real thing. Right now, me and my family, we went to Turkey and they make the best fake stuff. Like,
Oh, fuck.
it's nearly impossible to make out the difference.
I thought no one could beat India in the fakes.
No, dude, that's...
Turkey has a big market.
Yeah,
and it's
there-
the border,
there are-
right? So
yeah, so there are people from Gucci, Louis, and all that go to Turkey to actually analyze how close the copies are. They are like going there to learn from them as to how they've
Speaking
been
facts.
able to replicate some of these products. So my personal belief is that, bro, like, just whatever you can afford, buy and own it. Like, you don't have to be in this imposter syndrome kind of thing where
Yeah, yeah.
if you don't have the money for Jordans, wear Jordans. No, man, like, wear Neiman's, wear something,
Yeah, right.
something,
Absolutely.
wear a smaller brand, but own it. Like,
Own
you
it,
know what
yeah,
I mean?
that's what-
Like,
So I think if we talk about average Indian, as you talked about FOMO, let's agree that a lot of average Indians have this FOMO that dude is wearing a Jordans
Right.
and I'm not wearing a Jordan. And that Jordan, for example, cost you 40,000 rupees. And if I'm getting a Jordan for 4,000 rupees, almost similar, like no one can make out that this is a fake pair. And people can't afford it. I think there's no problem, absolutely, someone buying a fake pair and just wearing it. It's like an ambition that they want to do. And it's very important for us to understand that people just want to buy and wear it. At
They
least
want to
people
explore.
know. At least people know that they want to buy Jordans.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
if they don't even know? Like they are somewhere fueling the market to the masses, you know?
right.
Like I can't afford a Jordan in your store, but I can go and buy a fake and wear it and flaunt it and tell my hood people that, dude, listen, these people wear this.
Right.
So I think it's absolutely fair if someone wants to buy a fake and, you know,
I
space
think
ash.
Pablo said it. As long as you don't feel like an imposter,
Right.
because you can wear a fake and feel confident and everything, but deep inside, if you still know it's a
Yeah.
fake and
Yeah.
you feel like an imposter, like, I feel like people
That
who
beats the purpose.
yeah,
That's what-
it defeats what the whole idea is about wearing something like that.
Right.
Plus, at the end of the day, like, you know, like, deep down, you know, right?
Correct.
And if it affects you, however, if say you buy a fake pair without knowing that it was fake and you're wearing it,
Yeah.
like, that's a very different
That's a
thing, because
very
you
different
think
thing.
that
That's like a
you're
placebo.
wearing a real,
Yeah.
you think that
You
you're
think
wearing a
you're-
real one,
yeah,
so it
yeah.
doesn't affect you so much.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
like
correct.
if someone gives me like a pair and you know it looks like
Yeah.
a real one, I'll never know, right?
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
You're not getting a legit check.
Do you know this? Like we all know that China is the biggest sneaker, like the fake sneaker thing. But there's this city. I had made a reel also in the past. The name is Putian City.
Okay.
So it's known as the fake sneaker capital. In fact, Vice Media, I think they have done a
Covered it.
huge video on that.
Okay.
And you won't believe that in the same city, within that 5 kilometers or 10 kilometers of radius, there is this fake sneaker manufacturing happening and this real sneaker manufacturing happening. How the fuck are you going to tell what is real and what is fake?
That's what-
So that whole thing that some people talk about, dude, you're wearing fakes, dude, you're wearing real, don't even know what is fake and what is real. It's such a close tech-oriented thing that you have to
Yeah.
know that information. Anyway, do you guys know about this space ash thing that
Dude.
happened in India?
Of course.
The Yeezy
Most
350.
controversial thing going around
Damn,
right
bro.
now.
Damn, like, and I've
Space
heard.
Ash, Dark Onyx.
Do you want to name? Like, I don't want to name some brands who have been apparently sued for this.
Let's
for
just say
selling.
the bigger resellers in India.
Yeah, I think people are smart enough to know.
Yeah.
We want to just comment below and tell us which are the brands. But I think, do you really think that they were the culprits? I think the culprits are those who did the backdooring.
I think so. In fact, like, in the reselling market, this was a very big thing that a lot of people were debating, like, whether or
Yeah.
not we should be selling Space Ash or
Correct.
Dark Onyx, because we don't really know.
Right.
Eventually, I think what happened was that a bunch of the resellers decided that since it's passing the legit
The
check,
QC,
yeah, that we can kind of sell them. But my personal thought has always been that since Adidas or Yeezy hasn't
absolutely.
personally or haven't done a press release about these sneakers, then it automatically comes under UA pairs, right?
Damn, bro, it's such a thin line, you know.
Yeah, thin
What
line.
you say makes so much of meaning to me. At the same time, I've heard so many people saying, dude, it's manufactured in the same factory. It's like having a son from the same mom and saying, it's the mom disowning the son. It's
Yeah.
like that. You
It's
know,
like a
Adidas-
son without a birth certificate.
Kind of.
kind of. So I mean,
It's like, do you really know if this is the mom without the
Right.
DNA test?
yeah, and you can't do DNA test here. Like at least there you can do. And even
No,
if you
but,
talk about
but
the
that's
LC
the
check,
thing is that the LC check
yeah,
is, I guess, acting as the DNA test.
yeah, maybe like
but,
you can say right.
But realistically, it's not the DNA test,
And
right?
people, so the best part is there's some people who have made money out of selling that also. The EC
Yeah.
350 Boost going down at 14,000, 15,000 on some of the websites. It was selling for 15,000. Like 23 is the retail, bro.
Yeah.
Selling for 15k. People are like,
It's just off, bro. Like,
and it looks. My personal opinion again, it looks shit. I don't like the pair. I don't like the pair. I had done a video around this. And I just asked the opinion of people because I never was in a position to say, okay, this is a real, this is a fake. Who am I? I'm not
Right.
the authority. But anyway, it just brings us to almost the closure of this podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed it. So much of information flowing in from the artist, so much of information flowing in from the sneaker reselling store, Ten Hill Studio, which is
Sneaker
the
king
only
of Cal.
Nice.
which is the, let me tell you, which is the only sneaker reselling store in Kolkata. You guys are doing really great. It's the first mover advantage that you guys would have, and I hope the sneaker scene in Kolkata grows big.
I'm glad to have you both here.
Obviously.
It was a special podcast. Obviously, me and Pablo, we've known each other
For a
ever
while.
since the store opened.
Store
right?
opened, yeah,
Nice.
yeah. And
Pablo's
Rohan's
been a supporter from day one.
always. And
So much
Rohan's,
fun.
done more than just sell sneakers, honestly. Like, he's also, supported a lot of artists. He's also been into events, and,
Events.
he's done everything in his capacity to support and grow the hip-hop scene in Calcutta.
Apparently, he knows the correct way of doing business. On that note, guys, so much fun to have you guys as an audience. Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Let us know if you like this podcast, and if you want us to do more such podcasts, we'll do that. We'll take
Yeah.
some efforts. We'll bring more people on this
Yeah,
platform
absolutely.
and interact more about this. If there's any hot topic that you want us to talk about, don't worry. We are going to pick up those controversial topics as well. But keep sharing the video and keep showing us love. Cheers.
All right, cheers.
Cheers.
Bye.